Welcome to the Reality Revolution. Today, I ask you to dare to prosper. We're reading an amazing chapter from Catherine Ponder and her book, How to Live a Prosperous Life. This dares you to prosper in Catherine Ponder's amazing way, focusing on the teachings of Charles Fillmore. Catherine Ponder is one of my favorite teachers. So inspiring, so informative, and she was very good at teaching prosperity, thinking and mindset, and ways to change your life and look at the world around you in a prosperous way. Dare to prosper. Prosperity comes not by chance, but in accordance with absolute law. Charles Fillmore has said, the law of supply is a divine law. This means that it is a law of mind and must work through mind. In other words, the peace, health, and plenty of prosperity must come through prosperous thinking. The mind can be trained to think prosperously in simple, delightful ways, and the results of prosperous thinking are also delightful, practical, and satisfying. A businessman had a serious heart condition most of his life. As he began to practice prosperous thinking, he relaxed more and more in mind, body, and affairs. He began to make his mind work for him in prosperous, healthy, victorious ways. Tension disappeared, and after a time, his physician stated that the heart condition had been healed. Today, this man enjoys the best health of his life. A lonely, unhappy career woman who had often threatened suicide learned about prosperous thinking and became so fascinated with its practical power that she found new interests outside herself. She developed a new lease on life. The suicide talk stopped, and today she is a transformed individual. A businessman who drank secretly found that as he began invoking prosperous thinking, he was able to resolve and dissolve inner hostilities and conflicts. Through new, victorious attitudes, his desire to drink vanished. In several instances, a marriage was saved after one of the partners learned of and began quietly practicing prosperous thinking. A widow who had been alone for 20 years met and married happily. One person's divorced partner returned and they were remarried. A businessman who had always detested his work discovered that as he applied prosperous thinking to his job, he got a whole new perspective on it. In due time, this man was sought out by many for counseling. Needless to say, he no longer considers his work detestable, and he enjoys the many contacts he has with others. What were the simple but delightful steps these persons and many others took to invoke prosperous thinking, thus producing peace, health, and plenty in their lives? First, they got ready for the prosperity they desired by creating a vacuum to receive it. Nature abhors a vacuum and always rushes in with new substance to fill empty space in mind, body, affairs, or relationships. You too can form a mental vacuum by cleaning out of your mind negative, limited, unforgiving thoughts. As Charles Fillmore has written, thoughts are things and occupy space in mind. We cannot have new or better ones in a place already crowded with old, weak, inefficient thoughts. A mental house cleaning is even more necessary than a material one. If you're not sure what attitudes or memories need to be released and dissolved, give yourself a universal treatment in release and forgiveness. Declare, I fully and freely forgive. I lose and let go. I cast all judgments, resentments, criticism, and unforgiveness upon the Christ within, to be dissolved and healed. The prospering truth has set me free to meet my rich good and to share my good with others. As you prayerfully affirm this, you will probably feel a sense of burden pass and a feeling of release, relief, and freedom come. Your mental vacuum for new good has now been formed. A businessman became ill, and in spite of the best medical care, he did not recover. His body was filled with poison, and nothing seemed to dissolve it. One night, while perspiring with a high fever, this man realized that there must be something he needed to get rid of or release, mentally or emotionally, since thoughts and emotions have such a powerful effect on the body. He then asked God to reveal what it was that he needed to release. Suddenly he began to think of a person against whom he had been holding a strong grudge, and about whom he had said many unkind things. He then affirmed over and over, I fully and freely release and forgive. I loose and let go all ill feeling. Divine love produces the perfect result now. Soon a feeling of peace, quietness, and release came, and he slept peacefully. The next morning his fever was gone, and he recovered rapidly from his illness of many months' duration. Not only is it necessary to form a mental vacuum, often a physical vacuum must be formed. You can form a physical vacuum for new peace, health, and plenty by releasing, giving away, selling, or otherwise getting rid of what you no longer want or need. Do not retain items of clothing, furniture, letters, files, books, or any other personal possessions that you no longer need or use. Get them out of the way to make room for what you do want, as long as you retain them. They take up space in your world that is needed for your new good. Declare to yourself as you go through your personal belongings, I fully and freely release, I loose and let go. I joyously make way for my new good, which now appears quickly in satisfying appropriate form. A widow had attempted in vain to settle her late husband's estate. Many legal entanglements had involved her with other heirs for almost a year. When she learned about forming a vacuum, she began cleaning out closets and other areas of her husband's clothes and personal possessions. The estate was quickly and harmoniously settled. A widower whose grief for his deceased wife had been intense for several years found that as he freely and fully released her personal possessions, his grief lessened and he was able to begin building a new life for himself. A husband had asked his wife for a divorce and they were separated. Then she learned of the vacuum law of prosperity. After she sold or otherwise disposed of a great many personal possessions left over from a former marriage, her present husband returned and they were happily reconciled. Sometimes it is necessary to form a vacuum by letting go of unsatisfying relationships and old ways of living that no longer please or satisfy. A woman who had great financial needs found that new ideas and methods of work opened to her after she gave up several dissatisfying friends of the past with whom she was no longer congenial. If there is a question in your mind about this possibility, affirm, I now let go of old ways of living, old unsatisfactory methods of work, and dissatisfying relationships of the past. I am now open and receptive to my new and highest good. You are now ready to take the second step in prosperous thinking. Charles Fillmore described this step when he wrote, Go into the silence daily at a stated time and concentrate on the substance of the Spirit prepared for you from the foundation of the world. This opens up a current of thought that will bring prosperity into your affairs. Daily become still and think about the rich, unlimited substance of the universe that is everywhere present for you to form as prosperous ideas, which will produce prosperous results. Affirm, the rich substance of the universe instantly responds to my prosperous thinking. I am now rich in mind and manifestation. At this point, begin definitely to mold substance. Do this by sitting quietly every day and writing down on paper what you feel you want to be, have, accomplish, and experience for the day, week, month, or year. Dare to be definite about prosperity if you want prosperity to be definite in manifesting for you. People often hesitate to write down and think about what they really desire. They do not realize that the mind is the connecting link between man and the rich but unformed substance of the universe. If you never think definitely about the prosperous results you desire, no mental contact is made with the rich substance of the universe. You must drift along in a stream of limitation and dissatisfaction. A businesswoman attended a lecture on prosperous thinking and learned of the power of writing down her desires. She hurried home and made a list of the prosperous results she strongly desired in her life. 4 days later, a large sum of money to which she had long been legally entitled but had been unable to collect came to her. The rich substance of the universe is yours to do with as you wish. Why settle for so little in life when you can have so much? Just by daring to be definite in your thinking. Another businesswoman, a widow, began writing out her true desires daily. At the first of a new year, she wrote down her desire to remarry happily. She wrote down her desire for a better home. She also stipulated her deep desire for a better paying, more satisfying job. In the middle of the year, a pleasant, better paying position was offered to her. At about the same time, she met her future husband through mutual friends. They were married by the end of the year. He was a building contractor, and he gave her the better home she wanted. As he too began deliberately to practice prosperous thinking, he developed 2 other successful businesses. When you write down your desires for the day, week, or month, list what you really want, not what you think you should have, nor what somebody else thinks you should have. Your deep-seated desires are God's good tapping at the door of your mind. Furthermore, write down dates by which you wish your desired good to be accomplished. You will be amazed at how the substance of heaven and earth will hasten to do your bidding when you give it definite desires and dates through which to work out good results. A businessman had long desired larger and better business property for the expansion of his business. After learning of the power of prosperous thinking, he no longer hesitated to believe he could have the property. Instead, he wrote down his definite desires for it. Soon he learned of a desirable piece of business property, and upon investigation found that it was priced quite reasonably. Everyone involved, his lawyer, the realtor, and the seller, tried to assist him in every way. Even the local bank president seemed interested in helping him acquire the property. It was as though all the forces of heaven and earth willingly cooperated to work out the financial arrangements, and this man soon settled his business in the new location. As you get your desires down on paper, feel free to work and rework them, changing, revising, expanding, and rearranging them as you wish from day to day. Make lists of what you do not want in your life and write down concerning them. Be thou dissolved in the name of Jesus Christ. Make lists of what you do want and write down, this or something better, Father, let thy highest good now manifest. Let the divine result now appear. By decreeing the divine result, you remain open and receptive to your highest good, which may appear in the form of greater good than you had humanly conceived in your own private desires. You are now ready to take the 3rd step in prosperous thinking. Begin at this point to image your desires as already fulfilled. Mentally live with the picture of fulfillment as you go about your day. Do not try to reason through your mental pictures of fulfillment or to understand how they are to come about. Just dare to image the fulfilled result as best you can, and then let the rich substance of the universe produce that imaged good in either usual or unusual ways. For your mental images declare often, this or something better, Father, let thy highest good now manifest. Let the divine result now appear in the divine way. A businessman's wife seemed to be a hopeless alcoholic. She was high-tempered, irresponsible, and very difficult to live with. She and her husband were on the brink of divorce when he learned that mental images make the conditions of mind-body affairs and relationships. He persistently began imaging his wife as peaceful, harmonious, responsible, easy to live with, and healed of alcoholism. For months he daily dared to image her as whole in mind-body affairs and relationships. Gradually she became calmer, more peaceful, and harmonious. She then began taking more interest in herself, her husband, and life generally. I recently had lunch with this couple, and it was apparent that they are healthier, happier, and more prosperous than ever before. Furthermore, this woman's healing and resulting transformation are now complete. Psychologists declare that imagination is one of the mind's strongest powers. The more you dare to image your desired good as a fulfilled result, and the more you dare to live your mental images, the faster the imaging power of the mind will begin producing almost magical results for you. Your mental images make your conditions, but it is up to you to make your mental images of the good you desire. You should image only the highest and best you can conceive, because whatever you image yourself as doing, you can do. The treasure map method is powerful, delightful, and helpful in developing the imaging power of the mind to produce prosperous results. The 4th step in prosperous thinking is to begin affirming verbally, definitely, and daily the divine manifestation of your desires. As you daily write down your desires and image them as fulfilled, affirm, "My world is the perfect creation of divine substance. The finished results of divine substance now appear as peace, health, and plenty in my world. In the beginning, the world was created by definite spoken affirmations as God declared, "Let there be." You can and should create your world accordingly because you are created in the image and likeness of God, and you too have the power to form substance through your definite spoken decrees for good. An interior decorator had been out of work for several months and was $2,500 in debt. During a summer slack season, she heard about the power of prosperous thinking in overcoming financial lack. She began imaging $2,500 in her checking account to pay all debts, and daily affirmed that her world was the perfect creation of divine substance, that the finished results of divine substance were appearing as peace, health, and plenty in her world. Almost immediately, a friend of a former customer telephoned and asked her to consider decorating an entire apartment house. Her estimate, running into thousands of dollars, was accepted. She was given the decorating job, and her commission amounted to $2,500. This proved to be only the first of a number of profitable jobs that have come to her. She is still joyously affirming, "My world is the perfect creation of divine substance." The finished remits of divine substance now appear as peace, health, and plenty in my world. It is good to be systematic in the daily verbal use of affirmations by speaking them aloud in privacy for at least 5 minutes at a time, 3 times a day. There is increased power in spoken words to produce definite, satisfying, immediate results. Thinking the right thought is powerful, but speaking it forth into the rich substance of the universe in deliberate, definite verbal form over and over daily gathers that rich substance together in definite events and circumstances that produce immediate, satisfying, and definite results. Charles Fillmore has explained, substance is first given form in the mind. In laying hold of substance in the mind and bringing it into manifestation, we play a most important part. We do it according to our decree. A little positive assertion and declaration of the good you desire is often all that is needed to turn the tide of events that will produce that good for you swiftly and easily. How often have you talked about what you did not want and gotten it? Now dare to speak of what you desire and begin receiving it. The promise is, "Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee." A man and his wife were salaried employees, barely making a living. They learned about affirmations and began daily affirming a better income. Soon the man, a draftsman, got the idea of designing greeting cards. His greeting cards soon became so well liked that he and his wife left their jobs and went into the greeting card business full time. Their income has greatly increased, and their greeting cards have become widely known and purchased. Use definite affirmations for prosperity when you want definite prosperity results. For the purpose of prosperity, the ancient Hebrews affirmed Jehovah Jireh. When they wished to concentrate on substance, this means Jehovah will provide. The mighty one whose presence and power provides, regardless of any opposing circumstance. A woman who owned some rental apartments began affirming Jehovah Jireh, the Lord now richly provides, during a summer off-season period. Almost immediately, her realtor rented one of the apartments for the next season for $1,900. In another instance, a couple were in financial straits when they learned of the ancient Hebrews' prosperity affirmation as they affirmed Jehovah Jireh, the Lord now richly provides. The way opened for them to sell for cash some property that had previously felt they might have to mortgage heavily. Another couple's mortgage payments were overdue, and they feared losing their home when they learned of the Hebrews' prosperity affirmation and began affirming Jehovah Jireh, the Lord now richly provides. Neither had been able to find work for several months. Within a few days, the husband obtained work, and his wife was offered not 1 but 2 jobs, both of which offered higher salaries than any she had previously received. They did not lose their home, and began paying off many miscellaneous debts as well. After beginning to get rid of what you do not want by forming a vacuum, after writing out your desires, imaging and affirming their divine fulfillment, you are ready for the culminating step in prosperous thinking. The time has come to go about your daily activities, acting as though you are already prosperous. doing whatever you can to make it so in your times of work, play, and rest. This you are to do, however, in a very special way by invoking the thought of success and prosperity with everything you think, say, and do. Deliberately become a prosperous thinker by beginning to think of yourself and others as successful, prosperous, victorious. Think often of whatever success, prosperity, and victorious good you are already enjoying and give thanks for it. Declare to yourself often, every day in every way, I am growing more prosperous, successful, victorious. I am made for peace, health, and plenty, and I am now experiencing them in ever-increasing degrees of good. Give others the same thought whenever you think of them. This is the delightful mental process to which your mind will quickly respond. Stop thinking of the failures and mistakes of yourself or others, and start concentrating on every degree of prosperity, success, and good that has been or is now evident. The mind is strengthened and uplifted by and thrives on thoughts, images, and words of success, whereas it seems to shrivel and be repelled by thoughts, images, and words of failure, limitation, and poverty. The mind delights in helping a prosperous thinker become more prosperous. That is why nothing succeeds like success. Invoke the law of increased success by affirming, my success is big, powerful, and irresistible. Nothing succeeds like success. I now go from success to greater success in the name of Jesus Christ. Speak in terms of your good rather than in terms of apparent problems. Speak in terms of your blessings rather than in terms of your challenges. Emphasize the good in your life, knowing that as you do it, it will increase. How often have you used the law of decrease and talked problems, difficulties, failure, limitations, ill health, confusion, inharmony? Now let your every act, tone, look, word express a quiet, confident assurance of success. Also give yourself the thought of increased good by thinking of yourself as already acting and living as successfully and prosperously as you truly desire to be. Think of yourself as already wearing the clothes you wish to wear, as already living in a gracious, abundant manner, as already experiencing the health, prosperity, and happiness you so rightly desire. Then speak positively, appreciatively of every degree of health, prosperity, and happiness you are already experiencing. This will help to multiply your good. There is just one other thing to remember. You must persist in doing these simple and delightful things step by step, day by day. Perhaps your mind has been steeped in thoughts, images, and words of failure, limitation, problems, and difficulties. If so, it may take a little while to clear your mind of the negative and make way for positive results. It is important that you persevere. Napoleon Hill has written something that has helped me persist past discouragement to success many times. Before success comes in many a man's life, he is sure to meet with much temporary defeat and perhaps some failure. When defeat overtakes a man, the easiest and most logical thing to do is to quit. That is exactly what the majority of men do. More than 500 of the most successful men in this country has ever known told the author their greatest success came just one step beyond the point at which defeat had overtaken them. So if discouragement besets you and your deep longings seem in vain, just hang on to the thought, nothing in the world can take the place of persistence and determination. With God's help, I now persist in my highest good. Persevere in this ideal. Truly, the peace, health, and plenty of prosperity come not by chance, but in accordance with the laws of prosperous thinking. You can invoke prosperous thinking for simple, practical, delightful results, as so many others have done. So this particular reading is very important because it lays out a blueprint that you can follow to find prosperity. There are 4 steps to prosperity that Catherine Ponder goes over, and she brings this from Charles Fillmore's book, Prosperity, which I've also read on the channel. Understand that the world that we can create by using these 4 steps is one where prosperity flows as freely as a mountain stream, nourishing every aspect of your life. Our quest begins with a paradoxical truth. To receive, we must create emptiness. The first step is to create a vacuum. So Picture yourself standing before an empty vessel waiting to be filled with the riches of life. This is the essence that Ponder is talking about, of creating a vacuum to create prosperity. Just as nature abhors a vacuum, the universe rushes to fill the spaces we intentionally create. By clearing out the old, stagnant, and unnecessary from our lives, we make room for fresh opportunities and abundance to flow in. Ponder is emphasizing in this that the vacuum law applies to the mind. So clearing out your mind to create an open space for prosperity to enter is part of this process. This is not about decluttering your physical space, though that is very important and a powerful start. It's about releasing outdated beliefs, letting go of relationships that no longer serve you, and freeing yourself from commitments that drain your energy. And as you create this vacuum, you start to feel the anticipation building that the universe is poised to fill your life with newfound prosperity. The second step is to go into the silence and concentrate on the substance of spirit prepared for you at the beginning of the world. And as they explain, this opens up a current of thought that will bring prosperity into your affairs. You can do this right now. Just close your eyes and take a deep breath. Feel yourself entering the silence. That sacred space within where the cacophony of the world fades away. And in this tranquil realm lies the substance of spirit that Fillmore is talking about, an infinite wellspring of prosperity that has existed since the dawn of time. And as you delve deeper into this silence, you begin to sense the vast potential that surrounds you. It's a profound connection to the very source of abundance. By tapping into its divine current, you open channels for prosperity to surge into your life, much like a river finding its path to the sea. In this silence, you might perceive whispers of inspiration, flashes of insight, or a deep sense of peace. These are the signals that you've made contact with the substance of spirit, and the prosperity is now flowing towards you. In New Thought, they love to use the word substance, and she dedicates another chapter in this book to substance. The idea that everything around you, the ether, the air, space itself, is a substance in which you can imprint your thought onto that creates the prosperity that you want. And you can find this substance by entering into the spirit and just meditating on it, on the substance that is all around you. The third step that Fillmore and Ponder discuss is to image your desires as already fulfilled. Now, of course, any sort of episode on prosperity, manifestation, law of attraction is going to talk about imaging your desires, visualization. But the reason it's always repeated is because it's such a critical part of the prosperity process. There's nothing that you will experience without having in your mind's eye first. So, with your mind's eye, paint a vivid picture of your deepest desires already fulfilled. See yourself living in that dream home, its rooms filled with warmth and laughter. Envision yourself excelling in that ideal career, making a significant impact and feeling deeply fulfilled. Picture yourself enjoying radiant health, brimming with vitality and joy. This is no mere daydream. It's a powerful act of creation. By holding these images in your mind with clarity and emotion, you are sending a clear signal to the universe about what you're ready to receive. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, smell the aromas of your prosperous life. The more real you make it in your imagination, the more power you give to its manifestation. This imagery becomes a blueprint that the universe works tirelessly to bring into reality. And the fourth step is to affirm verbally, definitely, and daily the divine manifestation of your desires. It's not just affirmations, but again, to affirm verbally, definitely, and daily the divine manifestation of your desires. So with affirmation, you are verbally or out loud saying that you are definitely in receipt of your desires by divine manifestation, not by accident or by some happenstance or luck, but through divine manifestation. So you need to speak these affirmations out loud, not just think about them. Let your voice ring out with conviction. Speak your aspiration into existence, not as a distant wish, but as a present reality. Your words are seeds planted in the fertile soil of the universe, nurtured by your unwavering belief. With each affirmation, you're building a bridge between the intangible world of dreams and the tangible world of manifestation. Just declare, I am prosperous in all areas of my life. Feel the truth of these words resonating in every cell of your body. Or the affirmation they like to give here is, my world is the perfect creation of divine substance. The finished results of divine substance now appear as peace, health, and plenty in my world. Feel the truth of these words resonating within you, in every cell of your body. Repeat these daily, infusing them with gratitude and certainty. And as you do this, you'll notice a shift in your perception. Opportunities that were always present but previously invisible will start to appear. Your actions will align with your words, propelling you towards the prosperity that you have declared as your truth. So I call upon all of you listening to integrate these 4 powerful steps, creating a vacuum, entering the silence, imaging your desire, and affirming your prosperity. And when we do this, we set in motion a profound transformation. Prosperity isn't just about material wealth. Catherine Ponder shows that by giving examples of health and positive relationships. It's about abundance in all aspects of life: health, relationships, personal growth, and spiritual fulfillment. By embracing this practice, you're not just inviting prosperity, you're becoming a living, breathing embodiment of it. Remember, this journey begins within you. It's a path of self-discovery, of aligning with the infinite potential that has always been your birthright. And as you consistently apply these steps, you will find that prosperity becomes not just a goal, but a natural state of being. The universe conspires in your favor, and you become a magnet for abundance in all its forms. So step boldly into this new way of being. Create your vacuum. Enter the silence. Imagine vividly and affirm confidently. Your prosperous life awaits, ready to unfold in ways more magnificent than you've ever dreamed possible. The journey to true abundance starts now. With each breath, each thought, and each intention, dare to prosper. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. And welcome to The Reality Revolution.